I may be 70, but I can still hear better than a rattlesnake in the dark. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead in Dr. Martinez's cramped office on Lenox Avenue. My weathered hands grip the examination table's cold metal edge. 45 years I've been coming to this same clinic. Same peeling paint on the walls. Same squeaky floors beneath my feet. But today something feels different, electric, like storm clouds gathering overhead. Dr. Martinez steps out to grab my file from the hallway cabinet. That's when I hear it. Two voices, hushed but urgent, drifting through the paper-thin wall behind me. My daughter-in-law Vanessa's sharp Brooklyn accent cuts through the silence first. She's getting worse, doctor. More confused every day, you understand? My spine stiffens like a steel rod. Confused? Child? I balanced military budgets worth millions before you were born. The medications need to be stronger, Vanessa continues, her voice dripping false concern. Something that'll make her more manageable, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Martinez's voice joins hers, low and conspiratorial. I can adjust the prescriptions, switch the labels if necessary. My blood turns to ice water in my veins. Perfect. And those medical documents we discussed? The cognitive assessment forms? Already prepared. Just need your signature on the witness line, Mrs. Washington. Vanessa's laugh is cold, calculating, like coins dropping into a collection plate. Once we have her declared incompetent, everything transfers to Marcus automatically. My adopted son's name hits me like a slap across the face. The house in Harlem, the military pension, all 3 bank accounts. 3 bank accounts? Honey, if you only knew. My fingers instinctively move toward the small recorder hidden in my blouse pocket. 47 years in the Army taught me to always be prepared. What about the old lady's personal belongings? Dr. Martinez asks. We'll handle those. Some items might need to disappear permanently. My grandmother's wedding ring suddenly feels heavy on my finger. The ring I plan to pass down to my grandson someday. Timeline? Vanessa asks, her voice getting closer to the wall. 2 weeks. Maybe 3. If we're careful about the documentation trail. Documentation trail? They're planning this like a military operation. But they forgot one crucial detail about their target. I am the military operation. My heart pounds steady and strong, like it did during combat missions. Not from fear, but from pure, crystallized rage. So that's how y'all gonna play me? The door handle rattles as Dr. Martinez prepares to return. I slip the tiny recorder deeper into my pocket, activating it silently. My face transforms into the mask I've perfected over 7 decades. Sweet, confused, helpless grandmother Evelyn. But underneath, Colonel Evelyn Washington is already planning her counterattack. Dr. Martinez enters with a forced smile, clipboard in hand. Sorry about that delay, Mrs. Washington. How are we feeling today? Oh, just fine, doctor. A little tired, but that's normal. I let my voice quaver slightly, playing right into their expectations. Vanessa appears in the doorway moments later, all fake smiles and concern. Hey, Mama Evelyn, how's the checkup going? Mama Evelyn. The name tastes like poison in my ears now. Vanessa, honey, I didn't know you were coming today. Just wanted to make sure you're getting the best care possible. Her hand rests on my shoulder, fingers cold as winter morning. Dr. Martinez was just explaining some new medications that might help. I nod slowly, deliberately, like I'm processing information through fog. Whatever you think is best, dear. But my eyes catch everything. The way Vanessa and the doctor exchange knowing glances. The paperwork stacked suspiciously on his desk. The medical forms with my name already typed across the top. They think they're so clever, so smooth with their little scheme. Child, I've dismantled enemy operations that would make your head spin. These new pills might make you feel a bit drowsy, Dr. Martinez explains. That's perfectly normal for someone your age. Someone my age. Like 70 means brain dead. I raised Marcus from a broken 2-year-old into a grown man. I fed you both when you couldn't even afford groceries. I opened my home, my heart, my entire life to your family. And now you want to bury me alive? My fingers traced the recorder's outline through the fabric. Every word, every pause, every guilty look being captured forever. Will these medications help with her memory issues? Vanessa asks innocently. Memory issues? I remember every battle, every promotion, every betrayal, including the ones happening right in front of my face. Significantly, Dr. Martinez replies, scribbling notes on his pad. Within a few weeks, she should be much more cooperative. Cooperative, like a dog being trained to roll over. The examination continues with blood pressure checks and routine questions. But I'm no longer present in that sterile room. My mind is 3 miles away, calculating assets and planning strategies. The $2.2 million hidden across 4 different banks. The 3 properties overseas that nobody knows about. The network of former soldiers who still owe me favors. No, child. This war just started. As we prepare to leave, I stumble slightly on the clinic steps. Vanessa steadies my arm, her touch now feeling like a spider's web. Careful, Mama Evelyn. We can't have you getting hurt. Getting hurt. The irony burns like acid in my throat. Thank you, sweetheart. I don't know what I'd do without family. But inside, Colonel Washington is already mobilizing for the fight ahead. They want to play games with a 70-year-old grandmother? Fine. Let's see how they handle a decorated war veteran instead. 43 years ago, a broken 2-year-old boy changed everything about my world. Marcus Washington arrived at my doorstep, clutching a torn, stuffed elephant. His biological parents had vanished like smoke, leaving him with nothing but trauma. The social worker warned me about his nightmares, his refusal to speak. But I saw something familiar in those dark, defiant eyes. The same look I wore after my first combat mission overseas. Scared, angry, but not defeated. Never defeated. I was 27 then, fresh out of my second deployment in Germany. Single, focused on my military career, with 0 experience raising children. But when Marcus wrapped his tiny fingers around my thumb that first night, something inside this hardened soldier's heart cracked wide open. The early years demanded everything I had and more. 5 a.m. wake-up calls became 6 a.m. because he needed extra sleep. My rigid army schedule bent around bedtime stories and midnight fevers. I taught him to march in formation across our Harlem living room. Left, right, while Stevie Wonder played on the radio. By age 5, Marcus could fold his clothes into perfect military squares. But he could also make me laugh until my sides ached. His first written report came after he drew on my bedroom wall. Mission failed, Mama Evelyn. Drew pictures. Will not draw on walls again. His handwriting was crooked, but his accountability was soldier straight. Dinner table became our briefing room every single evening. Marcus would report his daily activities like a junior officer. Played with Tommy at school, ate all my vegetables, homework complete. I'd respond with mock seriousness, fighting back proud smiles. Report received and approved, soldier. Dismissed for television privileges. Those dinner conversations built the foundation of our unbreakable bond. Or so I thought. High school brought new challenges, but Marcus never wavered in his respect. He called me Mama Evelyn in public, Colonel Mom at home. College graduation day, he saluted me in front of 500 people. Thank you for making me the man I am today. The tears streaming down my face could have filled the Hudson River. 22 years old, and he still asked my opinion on everything. Job interviews, apartment hunting, even which tie to wear on dates. That's when Vanessa Martinez entered our carefully constructed world. Beautiful, charming, with a smile that could melt winter ice. She laughed at my stories, complimented my cooking, called me Mom. Marcus was head over heels, smitten from their very first meeting. I should have trusted my instincts when something felt slightly off. The way her eyes calculated while her mouth spoke sweetness. How she always steered conversations toward money, property, my military benefits. But love makes even seasoned soldiers lower their guard sometimes. The wedding was everything Marcus dreamed of, and more. I walked him down the aisle since his biological father never returned. Vanessa looked radiant in white, Marcus handsome in his rented tuxedo. My speech at the reception brought the entire room to tears. Today I'm not losing a son, I'm gaining a daughter. If only I had known how prophetic those words would become. Jordan arrived 2 years later, a perfect blend of both parents. Marcus's gentle eyes, Vanessa's sharp intelligence, my stubborn Washington chin. I spoiled that baby rotten from his very first breath, rocking him to sleep while humming old Motown classics, teaching him to walk by 19 months, just like his daddy. The three of them moved into my house when Jordan turned 5. Temporary arrangement, they said, just until they saved enough money. Temporary stretched into years, then into permanent family tradition. 4 generations under one roof, sharing meals and memories. I converted the basement into their private apartment space. Gave them privacy while keeping my grandson close to Grandma's heart. Sunday mornings meant pancakes, bacon, and Jordan's endless chatter. Grandma Evelyn, tell me about the army again. Grandma Evelyn, why do you wake up so early? Grandma Evelyn, will you teach me to march like Daddy? Those questions filled my retirement with purpose and unimaginable joy. I taught Jordan chess, poker, and how to change a tire. Basic life skills every young man needs to navigate the world. Marcus would watch us with pride shining in his eyes. Look at my son learning from the best teacher alive. But somewhere between Jordan's 10th and 15th birthdays, things shifted. Whispered conversations between Marcus and Vanessa that stopped when I appeared. Jordan becoming distant, spending more time in his parents' basement apartment. Family dinners grew shorter, laughter became forced and uncomfortable. I attributed it to normal teenage rebellion and growing pains. Never imagining the poison being dripped into my grandson's ears. Your grandmother is getting old, Jordan. She doesn't understand modern things. Maybe it's time she moved somewhere with more appropriate care. The manipulation was subtle, surgical, designed to isolate me gradually. By Jordan's 18th birthday, he barely looked me in the eye. Conversation reduced to polite greetings and requests for money. The boy who once begged for bedtime stories now avoided me. My heart broke a little more with each cold interaction. But I blamed myself, wondering where I had gone wrong. Maybe I was too strict, too old-fashioned for his generation. Maybe retired army colonels make terrible grandmother figures after all. The truth was far more sinister than my worst nightmares. They were systematically turning my own grandson against me, planting seeds of doubt about my mental capacity and financial responsibility, teaching him to see me as burden instead of family, all while planning their ultimate betrayal behind my loving, trusting back. 45 years of sacrifice, devotion, and unconditional love. Reduced to dollar signs and property deeds in their calculating minds. The family I built with my own 2 hands was destroying me. But they forgot one crucial detail about their target. I didn't survive 47 years in the military by being weak. And I sure as hell wasn't going down without a fight. 3 days after the clinic, I wait until the house falls silent. Marcus and Vanessa are at their weekly date night downtown. Jordan is supposedly studying at the library until midnight. The perfect cover for what I need to accomplish tonight. My bare feet move soundlessly across the hardwood floors. 47 years of military training never leaves your muscles. I pause at the basement stairs, listening for any unexpected sounds. Nothing but the familiar hum of the old furnace below. The safe is hidden behind my grandmother's portrait in the study. A massive steel fortress disguised as innocent wall decoration. My fingers work the combination with practiced precision. Right 47, left 23, right 85, left 12. The dates of my military service, my adoption of Marcus, Jordan's birth. Numbers that meant everything to me before this nightmare began. The heavy door swings open with a satisfying mechanical click. Inside lies the foundation of my carefully planned counterattack. $2.2 million in bearer bonds and cash certificates. Money I've saved and invested for 45 years of service. Every promotion, every combat bonus, every penny I didn't spend. All hidden away because in the Army, you learn survival tactics. Never keep all your ammunition in one vulnerable location. The property deeds rest beneath the financial documents like sleeping giants. A beachfront cottage in Montego Bay, Jamaica, purchased in 1995. A vineyard estate outside Porto, Portugal, bought during my final deployment. A riot in Marrakech, Morocco, acquired through a military investment group. 3 escape routes I established decades ago for my retirement. Properties Marcus and Vanessa never knew existed because I never bragged. Humble living was always my philosophy, despite substantial hidden wealth. Let them think I'm surviving on military pension and Social Security. Meanwhile, I've been building an empire they can't even imagine. I photograph every document with my smartphone's camera. Evidence of assets that will shock everyone, including my lawyer. The irony tastes bitter on my tongue like unsweetened coffee. Money I saved to leave Marcus is now funding his prosecution. But betrayal changes everything, even a mother's deepest intentions. I pack essential documents into my old Army duffel bag. Clothes for 1 week, medications, and my most precious photographs. Pictures of Marcus as a little boy, graduation day, family holidays. Memories I refuse to abandon despite his devastating choices. By dawn, I'll be living in a furnished apartment across town. A strategic retreat that will catch them completely off guard. The rental was secured yesterday under my maiden name. Sarah Jenkins, a ghost from my past returning for justice. My cell phone buzzes softly against the kitchen counter. Time to activate the most dangerous weapon in my arsenal. Not money or property, but loyalty forged in combat zones. The kind of brotherhood that transcends decades and distance. I dial the first number from memory, hands steady as steel. Lieutenant Colonel James Miller answers on the second ring. "Jim, it's Evelyn Washington. I need you to listen carefully." His voice immediately sharpens with familiar military alertness. "Colonel, what do you need? You know I'm always ready." Miller served under me in Desert Storm, saved my life twice. He runs a private investigation firm in Washington, D.C. Now. Time to dust off your boots, Jim. Mama Colonel's got a mission. The nickname makes him chuckle, despite the serious undertone. Financial fraud, elder abuse, family betrayal, right up your specialty alley. Send me everything tomorrow. I'll have answers within 72 hours. The second call goes to Lieutenant Sarah Harris in Atlanta. She specializes in digital forensics and white-collar crime investigations. "Sarah, it's Colonel Washington. I need your particular skill set." "Ma'am, just say the word. You know I'd follow you anywhere." These soldiers understand loyalty in ways civilians never could. Blood family betrayed me, but my military family remains unshakable. The final call requires more delicate handling and strategic timing. Alicia Carter, Esquire, answers her personal line at 6 a.m. This powerhouse attorney built her reputation, destroying financial predators, particularly those who target elderly and vulnerable community members. Her track record speaks louder than any advertisement could. 97% conviction rate in elder abuse cases. "Mrs. Carter, my name is Colonel Evelyn Washington, United States Army, retired. I need representation for financial fraud and conspiracy charges." Her interest peaks immediately at the mention of my military rank. "Colonel, I'd be honored to represent you. What's the situation?" "I have evidence of systematic planning to steal my assets. Medical conspiracy, document forgery, and identity theft involved. The perpetrators are my adopted son and his wife." Silence stretches across the phone line for several heartbeats. Mrs. Carter, are you still there? Did I lose the connection? I'm here, Colonel. I'm just processing the level of betrayal involved. Bring me everything tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp. We'll destroy them legally, ethically, and completely. By sunrise, my counter-strike machinery is fully operational. 3 loyal soldiers mobilized for reconnaissance and intelligence gathering. 1 fearless attorney ready to prosecute with maximum legal force. And me, 70 years old but sharper than ever. They wanted to play games with a helpless grandmother. Instead, they've awakened a sleeping military strategist. My duffel bag sits by the front door like a declaration. 45 years of memories reduced to portable essentials. But sometimes retreat is necessary before launching devastating attacks. I pour 1 final cup of coffee in my childhood kitchen. The same stove where I taught Marcus to scramble eggs. The same table where we shared thousands of family meals. Soon this house will be evidence in their criminal trial. Every forged document, every secret conversation, every calculated lie, all preserved as testimony to their greed and heartless manipulation. My phone buzzes with a text message from Vanessa. Hope you slept well, Mama Evelyn. See you for breakfast. The fake sweetness makes my stomach turn with disgust. But I respond with equal, artificial warmth and affection. Looking forward to it, sweetheart. Love you both. Let them think I'm still their naive, trusting victim. Meanwhile, justice is already grinding forward like unstoppable machinery. The war they started is about to escalate beyond recognition. Lieutenant Miller's first report arrives like a bomb exploding in my inbox. Colonel, what I found will make your blood boil with rage. 17 credit cards opened in your name over the past 8 months. Total debt accumulated exceeds $87,000 and climbing. Purchases include luxury handbags, casino cash advances, expensive restaurant bills. The spending pattern suggests your daughter-in-law has expensive taste indeed. I stare at the computer screen, hands trembling with barely controlled fury. Gucci purses, while claiming they can't afford their own apartment. Designer shoes while asking me to cover Jordan's college expenses. Casino withdrawals while Marcus swore he'd stopped gambling years ago. The hypocrisy burns hotter than desert sand in my chest. Miller's second email contains even more devastating financial evidence. Your son Marcus owes $43,000 to underground bookmakers. These aren't friendly neighborhood poker games, Colonel. This is organized crime. The Torino family runs high-stakes operations throughout New York City. Men with broken kneecaps don't pay their debts on time. Suddenly, Marcus's recent nervousness and sleepless nights make perfect sense. He's not just stealing my money for greed alone. He's stealing it to stay alive in a dangerous world. But that doesn't excuse the systematic betrayal of my trust. My phone buzzes with an encrypted message from Lieutenant Harris. Digital forensics complete, sending full report through secure military channels. The evidence she uncovered makes my stomach churn with disgust. Bank account access logs show unauthorized entries from their basement computer. Password attempts using my birth date, social security number, military service dates. They've been mining my personal information for months, like predators. Jordan's involvement appears limited, but still deeply troubling and heartbreaking. Small purchases on my credit cards, mostly clothing and video games. $50 here, $30 there, testing the boundaries carefully. His parents obviously groomed him gradually for larger financial crimes. My grandson, my precious boy, turned into their unwitting accomplice. The security cameras I installed reveal their true criminal nature. These fools think I can't use Wi-Fi technology effectively. Honey, I was hacking military radio frequencies before you were born. Hidden cameras now record every conversation, every guilty glance exchanged. Marcus pacing the basement while arguing with dangerous loan sharks. Vanessa counting cash from my stolen credit cards like birthday money. Jordan looking increasingly uncomfortable with his parents' criminal behavior. The footage captures their conspiracy in devastating high-definition detail. But the most shocking discovery comes from Dr. Martinez's office. Miller's investigation reveals forged psychiatric evaluations bearing my name. Documents declaring me mentally incompetent, signed by fictional medical professionals. The signatures belong to people who don't exist in reality. But the forgeries are sophisticated enough to fool most legal authorities. Vanessa hired a professional document counterfeiter named Vincent Rossetti. His criminal resume includes medical fraud, identity theft, elder exploitation. The man specializes in making vulnerable seniors disappear legally. Their plan was more systematic and sinister than I initially imagined. First, establish mental incompetence through fraudulent psychiatric evaluations. Second, gain legal guardianship over my assets and medical decisions. Third, systematically drain every account, sell every property, steal everything. Fourth, place me in a nursing facility where I'd die forgotten. The calculated cruelty takes my breath away like physical assault. These aren't desperate people making poor choices under pressure. This is premeditated elder abuse, orchestrated with military precision. They studied my routines, exploited my trust, manipulated my love. Alicia Carter reviews the evidence with professional amazement and horror. Colonel Washington, I've prosecuted hundreds of elder abuse cases before, but I've never seen such elaborate, systematic financial predation in families. The scope of their conspiracy rivals organized crime operations. We have enough evidence to send them to prison for decades. The hardest part is watching Jordan's gradual awakening to truth. Security footage shows him questioning his parents' recent behavior changes. Mom, why does Grandma Evelyn seem so sad and confused lately? Dad, where did you get money for that new car? His innocent questions trigger angry responses from both criminal parents. Mind your own business, Jordan. Adults handle adult situations. Your grandmother is getting old and forgetful. We're protecting her. But Jordan's not stupid, just naive about his parents' true nature. I watch him discover credit card statements hidden in their bedroom. His face transforms from confusion to horror to devastating realization. The boy I raised from birth is finally seeing truth. His parents aren't protecting me from anything or anyone. They're systematically destroying the woman who gave them everything. Jordan's conscience begins fighting against months of careful manipulation. Late-night footage shows him crying alone in his bedroom, staring at evidence of his own participation in their crimes. $50 purchases that seemed harmless now feel like betrayal. His guilt is visible in every slumped shoulder, every heavy sigh. Miller calls with updates on the Torino family investigation. Colonel, your son's gambling debts are worse than we initially calculated. He owes money to 3 different criminal organizations simultaneously. The interest compounds daily, and they're losing patience rapidly. Marcus is probably desperate enough to attempt anything for quick money, including accelerating their timeline for stealing your entire estate. This isn't just family betrayal anymore, it's survival desperation. But desperation doesn't justify destroying the person who saved you. Harris sends final digital evidence that completes our legal case. Bank routing numbers, forged documents, recorded phone conversations with Rossetti. Every crime documented, every lie preserved, every betrayal captured forever. The web of deception they wove is about to collapse. And they'll be trapped inside when it does. My 70-year-old heart pounds with anticipation of justice finally served. The family I built with love is about to learn consequences. But first, I need to save the one person worth saving. Jordan deserves a chance at redemption and genuine family love. Before his parents drag him deeper into their criminal world, Alicia Carter's downtown office buzzes with military precision and legal strategy. Evidence boxes stack floor to ceiling like ammunition in a weapons depot. Financial documents, recorded conversations, surveillance footage, digital forensics reports. Everything we need to destroy Marcus and Vanessa's criminal conspiracy completely. The prosecutor assigned to our case can't believe the evidence volume. Detective Williams shakes his head while reviewing the surveillance footage. Mrs. Washington, in 30 years of police work, I've never seen anything comparable. Elder abuse cases usually involve simple theft or basic financial manipulation. This is organized crime sophistication applied to family destruction and betrayal. Alicia spreads the timeline across her conference room table methodically. The pattern reveals 18 months of systematic, calculated, criminal activity. Starting with small credit card applications, escalating to major fraud, building toward complete asset seizure and medical guardianship theft. If we hadn't intervened, you'd be declared incompetent within weeks. The thought sends ice water through my 70-year-old veins. Vanessa's plan was to have me committed to memory care permanently, where I'd die slowly, forgotten, while they enjoyed my life's work. But now, it's time to turn their own tactics against them. Tonight's dinner will be my final performance as naive Grandma Evelyn. I call Marcus from my temporary apartment, voice trembling with false confusion. Sweetheart, I've been feeling so lost since my doctor's appointment recently. Could you and Vanessa come for dinner tonight? I miss family. His eager agreement confirms their timeline acceleration plans are moving forward. Of course, Mama Evelyn. We'll bring Jordan too. 6 o'clock sharp. Perfect. I'll make your favorite pot roast with mashed potatoes. The same meal I cooked for his birthday every year since age 3. One last family dinner before I destroy their world completely. The recording equipment arrives at 4 p.m., installed by Miller's team. Miniature cameras hidden in picture frames, audio devices in flower arrangements, military-grade surveillance gear disguised as innocent household decorations perfectly. Every word, every gesture, every guilty look will be captured tonight. I prepare the meal with extra care, seasoning it with bitter irony. This kitchen witnessed 43 years of love, laughter, family traditions. Tonight, it becomes the crime scene where their confessions are recorded. Pot roast simmers while I practice my helpless grandmother performance. Confused expressions, trembling hands, questions about missing money and documents. The bait designed to make them reveal their criminal plans. Marcus arrives first, looking nervous and avoiding direct eye contact. Mama Evelyn, you look tired. Are you taking your medication properly? His concern sounds genuine, which makes the betrayal cut deeper. This man I raised, loved, sacrificed everything for, genuinely worries about his medications working fast enough to make me docile. Vanessa enters wearing a designer dress purchased with my stolen credit. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. Hey, Mama E, thanks for cooking. You know how much we appreciate you. Jordan trails behind his parents, shoulders slumped with obvious guilt. Hi, Grandma. He barely meets my eyes across the familiar kitchen. But I catch something different in his expression tonight. Doubt, confusion, the beginning of moral awakening, perhaps. Dinner conversation starts innocently enough with weather and neighborhood gossip. I play my role perfectly, mixing truth with calculated confusion strategically. I keep forgetting where I put important papers these days. And someone's been using my credit cards, such strange purchases appearing. Marcus and Vanessa exchange meaningful glances they think I don't notice. But 47 years of military training taught me to observe everything. Don't worry about those things, Mama Evelyn. We'll handle the paperwork. Vanessa's voice drips with false sweetness and barely concealed excitement. You just focus on staying healthy and letting us manage finances. I pour wine generously, especially into Vanessa's glass repeatedly. Alcohol has always loosened her tongue during family gatherings previously. Tonight I'm counting on liquid courage to reveal criminal confessions. The conversation gradually shifts toward my health, memory, future care. Marcus suggests I might be happier in assisted living arrangements, somewhere with professional medical staff and structured daily activities. Vanessa nods enthusiastically, wine already affecting her usual careful speech. Exactly. Somewhere designed specifically for people with your challenges. She catches herself before saying cognitive decline, but the implication hangs. Jordan shifts uncomfortably, stabbing his mashed potatoes with unnecessary force. Mom, why can't Grandma just stay here? This is her house. His innocent question triggers sharp looks from both criminal parents. Jordan, adults are discussing complicated situations. Eat your dinner quietly. But my grandson's moral compass is finally beginning to activate properly. Grandma raised Dad from a baby. Doesn't she deserve better treatment? Vanessa's third glass of wine removes her last inhibitions about speaking. Jordan, your grandmother won't be around forever to complicate things. When she's gone, everything's ours. House, money, everything she's hoarded. The words hang in the air like smoke from a gunshot. Marcus kicks her under the table, but the damage is done. I continue eating calmly while my hidden cameras capture everything perfectly. Vanessa realizes her mistake too late, wine-flushed face going pale. I mean, when she passes naturally. In many years. Of course. But Jordan heard exactly what she meant the first time. His fork clatters against the plate like a gavel striking justice. Mom, that's horrible. Grandma Evelyn is sitting right there listening. Vanessa scrambles to recover, but alcohol makes her clumsy verbally. I misspoke, honey. I just meant we'll inherit eventually, naturally. That's how families work when elderly members pass away peacefully. Jordan's young face transforms from confusion to dawning horror and realization. You're talking about Grandma like she's already dead and buried. Like you're waiting for her to die so you inherit. That's sick. That's really, really sick to say out loud. Marcus tries to control the damage his wife just caused. Jordan, your mother didn't mean anything bad, just planning ahead responsibly. But Jordan stands up abruptly, chair scraping against hardwood floors. I'm not hungry anymore. This conversation makes me feel terrible. He storms toward the basement stairs, shoulders shaking with emotion. Vanessa and Marcus sit in uncomfortable silence, avoiding my eyes. I clear the dishes methodically, humming old Motown under my breath. The same songs I sang while raising Marcus decades ago, before he decided my death was more valuable than my life. As I wash plates in the kitchen sink, satisfaction warms me. Tonight's performance exceeded every expectation I had planned originally. Vanessa's drunken confession is perfect evidence for the prosecution team. Jordan's moral awakening might save him from his parents' criminal fate. The recording devices captured everything needed for their conviction. I dry my hands on the dish towel, smiling genuinely. Operation Justice is officially underway and proceeding according to plan. The New York Post headline screams across newspaper, stands throughout the city. Army colonel battles her own family in elder abuse trial. Channel 7 news trucks line the courthouse steps like military vehicles. Reporters shout questions about betrayal, family loyalty, and stolen fortunes. The story has captured public attention unlike any case in years. A decorated war veteran versus the family she raised with love. I wake at 0500 hours, military precision guiding my morning routine. Today's uniform is my formal Army dress blues with full decorations. 47 years of service displayed proudly across my chest. Combat ribbons, leadership medals, commendations for valor under fire. If they want to question my competence, let them see my credentials. The courthouse steps feel like walking into battle once again. Cameras flash, microphones thrust toward my face like weapons. Colonel Washington, how does it feel to prosecute your own son? Do you regret adopting Marcus after this devastating betrayal? I maintain military bearing, back straight, eyes forward, silent dignity. Alicia Carter guides me through the media circus with protective authority. No questions until after the trial concludes, ladies and gentlemen. Inside the courtroom, Marcus and Vanessa sit with their public defender. Cheap suits, Nervous glances, the look of criminals finally caught. Marcus won't meet my eyes across the crowded courtroom. Vanessa stares at her hands, designer confidence completely shattered. Jordan sits in the witness section, looking younger than ever. My grandson's face shows the weight of his impossible choice. Family loyalty versus moral truth, love versus justice. Judge Patricia Coleman calls the court to order with authority. The Honorable Judge Coleman has presided over elder abuse cases before. Her reputation for fairness and thorough examination precedes her. Alicia rises to deliver the opening statement with commanding presence. Your Honor, this case represents systematic elder abuse at its worst. The defendants exploited trust, love, and family bonds for criminal gain. We will prove conspiracy to defraud, identity theft, and document forgery. Most shocking of all, the victim is the defendant's adoptive mother, the woman who saved, raised, and sacrificed everything for him. The prosecution's evidence unfolds like a military campaign strategy. Bank statements showing $87,000 in fraudulent debt. Credit card applications using my forged signature and stolen information. Audio recordings of their conspiracy captured during family dinner. The courtroom gasps audibly as each piece of evidence emerges. Digital forensics prove unauthorized access to my personal accounts. Surveillance footage shows them counting stolen cash like pirates. Professional document analysis reveals sophisticated forgery techniques throughout. The fake psychiatric evaluations draw sharp intakes of breath. Marcus's defense attorney attempts damage control with desperate arguments. Financial stress, gambling addiction, temporary lapse in judgment. But Alicia systematically destroys each excuse with factual evidence. Your Honor, addiction doesn't justify systematic elder abuse and exploitation. Desperation doesn't excuse forging medical documents to steal inheritances. Family relationship doesn't permit identity theft and financial fraud. Vanessa takes the stand first, tears streaming down her cheeks. We never meant to hurt Mama Evelyn. We love her dearly. But the credit card statements tell a different story entirely. Luxury handbags, expensive restaurants, casino cash, advances for gambling. Cross-examination reveals her calculated manipulation and sophisticated planning. Mrs. Martinez, who suggested forging the psychiatric evaluations. That was my idea. I thought it would help. Help whom exactly? Help yourselves to her life savings? Vanessa's composure crumbles under Alicia's relentless questioning completely. Marcus testifies next, voice shaking with barely controlled emotion. I raised this man from a broken 2-year-old child. Taught him honor, integrity, respect for family and authority. Now he sits before a judge, caught red-handed betraying everything. Mama Evelyn gave me everything. I know what we did was wrong. But I owed dangerous people money. They threatened to hurt us. Your Honor, I was trying to protect my family from violence. The desperation in his voice breaks my heart despite everything. But Alicia shows no mercy during her cross-examination of Marcus. Mr. Washington, when did protecting family include destroying your mother? When did gambling debts justify stealing her life savings systematically? When did fear excuse forging documents to have her declared incompetent? Each question hits like artillery fire, demolishing his defense completely. Then comes the moment everyone has been dreading and anticipating. The prosecution calls Jordan Washington to the witness stand. My 21-year-old grandson walks forward on trembling legs. His young face shows the terrible weight of this moment. Choosing between parents and grandmother, loyalty and truth, love and justice. Jordan's voice starts as barely a whisper in the silent courtroom. Alicia guides him gently through his testimony with maternal patience. Jordan, did you participate in using your grandmother's credit cards? Yes, ma'am. For small things at first. Clothes and games mostly. Did your parents tell you this was acceptable behavior? They said Grandma wouldn't mind. That family shares everything together. When did you realize something was seriously wrong with their actions? At dinner last week when she said, his voice breaks completely, tears streaming down his young face. Jordan, take your time. Tell the court what your mother said. She said when Grandma's gone, everything would be ours to inherit. Like she was waiting for Grandma to die soon. That's when I knew they weren't protecting her at all. They were stealing from her and planning to get rid. The courtroom sits in stunned silence at his raw honesty. My heart breaks and swells with pride simultaneously watching him. This brave young man choosing truth despite devastating personal cost. Did you know about the forged medical documents, Jordan? No, ma'am. I thought the credit cards were the only problem. I never knew about fake psychiatric evaluations or stolen signatures. If I had known, I would have told Grandma immediately. His testimony continues for 45 minutes of devastating truth. Every question reveals another layer of his parents' systematic deception. Every answer shows Jordan's growing horror at their criminal behavior. When he finishes, the courtroom remains silent for long moments. Judge Coleman's voice carries the weight of inevitable justice. The evidence presented today reveals sophisticated, premeditated elder abuse. The defendants exploited family trust for systematic financial exploitation. This court finds both defendants guilty on all charges presented. Marcus and Vanessa's shocked faces confirm their disbelief completely. They actually thought love would overcome evidence and justice. But justice served cold tastes sweeter than any family dinner. Judge Coleman's gavel falls like thunder on the mahogany bench. Marcus Washington, you are sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. Conspiracy to defraud, elder abuse, identity theft, and document forgery. Vanessa Martinez Washington, you receive 7 years for the same charges. The courtroom erupts in whispers, gasps, and the click of cameras. Marcus's legs buckle as the bailiff approaches with handcuffs gleaming. Vanessa sobs hysterically, mascara streaming down her cheeks like rivers. 8 years, 7 years. Justice served cold on a silver platter. I feel no satisfaction watching my adopted son led away. Only the hollow ache, where unconditional love used to live. 45 years of memories reduced to this devastating courtroom moment. The little boy who called me Mama, now wearing orange jumpsuit. Jordan sits frozen in the witness section, face pale with shock. His parents disappear through the defendant's door into their criminal future. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarm like hungry vultures again. Colonel Washington, how do you feel about your son's conviction? Do you plan to visit Marcus and Vanessa in prison? Will you forgive your family for this devastating financial betrayal? I push through the crowd without answering their intrusive questions. Some wounds are too fresh for public consumption and commentary. Jordan follows silently, shoulders shaking with suppressed emotion and guilt. We reach my rental car in the parking garage. The silence between us stretches like a bridge across dangerous water. Finally, my grandson breaks down completely in the passenger seat. Grandma Evelyn, I'm so sorry. I'm so incredibly, terribly sorry. I participated in stealing from you. I helped them hurt you. I should have known better. I should have protected you instead. His young face crumples with the weight of crushing guilt. Tears flow freely as 21 years of love battles recent betrayal. I reach across and place my weathered hand on his shoulder. The same gesture I used when he was scared little boy. Blood don't make family, Jordan. Love does. Your parents made their choices, but you chose truth and justice. That took more courage than most adults possess in their lifetime. He looks up with red-rimmed eyes, desperate for forgiveness and redemption. But Grandma, I used your credit cards. I was part of it. For video games and stupid clothes I didn't even need. How can you ever trust me again after what I did? The pain in his voice tears at my grandmother's heart. This boy I've loved since birth, corrupted by his parents' greed. But underneath the guilt, I see the man I raised. Honest, brave, willing to sacrifice everything for what's right. Jordan, You were manipulated by people who should have protected you. But when it mattered most, you chose the harder path. You testified against your own parents to save your grandmother. That's not betrayal, sweetheart. That's heroism in its purest form. We drive to my temporary apartment in comfortable silence. The weight of recent months finally lifting from both our shoulders. Justice served, truth revealed, family bonds tested and proven strong. That evening, I showed Jordan my secret financial records. His eyes widen at the offshore properties and hidden savings. Grandma, you're actually rich. Really, really rich. Why did you live so simply when you had millions? I learned in the army never to show your full strength. Let enemies underestimate you, while you plan their complete defeat. Your parents saw helpless grandmother, not decorated military strategist. Their arrogance became the weapon I used against their crimes. But this money was always meant for family education. Starting with your college tuition, room and board, everything needed. Jordan's face transforms from guilt to wonder, to overwhelming gratitude. You'd still pay for my college after everything that happened? Even after I participated in stealing your money and trust? Education is the one gift that can never be stolen. Your parents tried to steal my present, but you're my future. The next morning, we begin the process of rebuilding trust. Starting with something simple, traditional, and deeply meaningful to me. Jordan, every Washington man needs to know proper Southern cooking. College boys don't survive on pizza and energy drinks alone. We stand side by side in my temporary apartment kitchen. I teach him the secrets of perfectly seasoned fried chicken. The flour mixture, the oil temperature, the timing of everything. His first attempt burns slightly, making us both laugh loudly. Even my legendary chicken recipe needs practice and patience. Just like forgiveness, trust, and building new family bonds. We spend hours cooking, talking, sharing stories I'd never told. About his father as a little boy, lost and frightened. About the dreams I had for Marcus that never materialized. About the dreams I still have for Jordan's bright future. By evening, we've created more than just edible fried chicken. We've begun healing wounds that seemed impossible to repair. The apartment fills with laughter, something missing for months. Jordan helps with dishes, humming old Motown songs I taught him. The same melodies that filled our house during happier times. But these aren't memories of the past we're creating. This is the foundation of our new life together. 2 weeks later, Jordan enrolls at City College for fall semester. Engineering major, just like he always dreamed of becoming. I pay his tuition with money his parents tried to steal. The irony tastes sweeter than any revenge I could imagine. Jordan moves into the dormitory with my full blessing and support. But every Sunday, he comes home for dinner and conversation. Our new tradition, built on honesty instead of manipulation. Love instead of greed, truth instead of lies and deception. Marcus and Vanessa write letters from prison seeking forgiveness. I read them once, then file them away unopened. Some bridges burn completely, leaving only ashes and painful memories. But from those ashes, stronger foundations can be built. Jordan graduates magna cum laude 4 years later with honors. I sit in the front row wearing my army dress uniform, watching my grandson walk across that stage with pure pride. The same pride I felt when Marcus graduated decades ago. But this time, it's untainted by betrayal and heartbreak. This time, it's built on truth, courage, and unshakable trust. Blood don't make family. Love does. And love, real love, always finds a way to heal. 5 years later, I stand behind a mahogany podium, facing 200 people. The Roosevelt Community Center buzzes with reporters, advocates, and fellow survivors. Today marks the official launch of the Washington Foundation Against Elder Abuse. Named after my military service, not the family that betrayed me. The irony is poetic justice served on a silver platter. Money stolen from me now funds protection for vulnerable seniors. My voice carries across the packed auditorium with military authority. Elder abuse is a hidden epidemic, destroying families across our nation. Financial exploitation, medical neglect, psychological manipulation, targeting our most vulnerable. Today we declare war on those who prey upon our elders. The crowd erupts in thunderous applause that echoes through my soul. Jordan sits in the front row wearing his engineer's graduation ring. 4 years of college, magna cum laude, full scholarship from Grandma. His proud smile makes every moment of heartbreak worth surviving. Lieutenant Miller and Sergeant Harris flank him like protective bookends. My military family, my chosen family, my unshakable foundation of loyalty. They've helped build this foundation from nothing into something magnificent. After the ceremony, reporters swarm with questions about my transformation. Colonel Washington, how did personal betrayal become public advocacy mission? Pain without purpose is just suffering. Pain with purpose becomes power. My family's crimes taught me that elder abuse hides everywhere. Behind loving smiles, family dinners, and false concern for well-being. We're teaching seniors to recognize manipulation before it destroys them. The Foundation's first year exceeds every expectation I dared imagine. Hotline calls from desperate grandparents discovering financial theft patterns. Legal aid for seniors facing family conspiracies and systematic exploitation. Educational workshops teaching warning signs of elder abuse and fraud. Support groups where survivors share stories and rebuild shattered trust. But the real healing comes from my newfound freedom to explore. Those 3 overseas properties become sanctuaries for my restless soul. Morocco in winter, where the Atlas Mountains touch infinite blue skies. My riad in Marrakech overlooks bustling markets and ancient stone. Mint tea on rooftop terraces while sunset paints everything gold. The same hands that once changed Marcus's diapers now hold adventure. Portugal in spring brings vineyard walks and ocean breeze conversations. My estate outside Porto produces wine older than Jordan's lifetime. Local vintners teach me secrets of soil, weather, and patience. Grapevines, like trust, require years of careful tending before harvest. Jamaica in summer offers healing that penetrates deeper than medicine. The beachfront cottage I bought during military deployment days. Waves crash against volcanic sand while reggae music drifts overhead. Local fishermen share stories of survival that dwarf my own. These travels aren't escape from reality but embrace of possibility. At 75, I'm discovering parts of myself long buried. The adventurous spirit that military discipline temporarily suppressed for decades. Languages learned, foods tasted, friendships formed across cultural boundaries. Each stamp in my passport represents freedom they tried to steal. Jordan visits me in Jamaica during his summer engineering internship. We walk the beach at sunrise, talking about his career dreams. Grandma Evelyn, thank you for never giving up on me. Even when I participated in betraying your trust and love. Sweetheart, redemption is always possible for hearts willing to change. Your parents chose greed, but you chose courage and honesty. That's the difference between family and strangers who share blood. He's grown into the man I always knew lived inside. Honest, hardworking, protective of those who cannot protect themselves. The engineering firm offered him permanent position after graduation ceremony. Designing infrastructure for communities that need clean water systems. Using his talents to serve others, rather than serve himself. Everything I hoped Marcus would become lives inside his son. The cycle of love continues despite temporary interruption and heartbreak. Jordan's wedding day arrives 3 years after his college graduation. Sarah Chen, his college sweetheart, becomes part of our small family. I walk him down the aisle since Marcus remains imprisoned. My dress uniform gleams with medals earned through decades of service. The same uniform I wore to Marcus's trial years ago. But today represents joy, hope, and new beginnings, instead of betrayal. Jordan's vows mentioned the grandmother who taught him about honor, about choosing difficult truth over comfortable lies and manipulation, about standing up for vulnerable people who cannot defend themselves. Sarah's parents embrace me as grandmother to their future children. Family built through love rather than accident of birth circumstances. The reception features fried chicken made from my secret recipe, the same dish Jordan burned during our first healing lesson. Now he cooks it perfectly, teaching Sarah the Washington family tradition. Stories, recipes, and values passed down through chosen family bonds. The foundation grows into national recognition and federal funding support. Congressional hearings feature my testimony about elder abuse prevention. Military precision applied to social justice creates powerful legislative change. Laws strengthened, penalties increased, protections expanded for vulnerable seniors. Marcus and Vanessa's letters still arrive monthly from federal prison. I file them unopened in a box marked past mistakes. Some relationships cannot be repaired through time or distance. Some betrayals cut too deep for forgiveness to fully heal. But that's their burden to carry, not mine to shoulder. My life overflows with purpose, adventure, and unshakable chosen family. Evening finds me on my Harlem brownstone's front porch swing. The same house they tried to steal through systematic manipulation. Now it's headquarters for the foundation and symbol of survival. Jazz music drifts from the stereo, Miles Davis trumpet notes soaring. Jordan and Sarah visit for Sunday dinner and conversation. Their laughter fills rooms that once echoed with conspiracy whispers. Love replaced betrayal. Truth conquered lies. Justice defeated greed completely. I rock gently in the swing, watching neighborhood children play. The same children who might need protection from elder abuse. My work continues because predators never stop hunting vulnerable prey. But now there's an army of advocates fighting back systematically. The Washington Foundation, my legacy of turning pain into power. A cool breeze carries the scent of Mrs. Johnson's famous cornbread. Life tastes sweeter when seasoned with hard-won wisdom and freedom. 76 years, 3 wars, 1 devastating family betrayal survived. But damn, I'm still standing strong and making a difference. Some battles leave scars, but victory leaves strength and purpose. The jazz music swells as sunset paints the sky magnificent colors. Tomorrow brings new challenges, new seniors to protect and serve. But tonight, I'm exactly where I belong in this world. Home, free, surrounded by love that chose me deliberately. Blood don't make family, love does. And love, real love, always finds a way to heal.